come.
First, though, we are, as I just said, taking your calls on dealing with nervous breakdowns. Dr. Max Pemberton and psychologist Joe Hemmings are both here, and welcome. Can I just ask about that term, nervous breakdown? It seems rather old-fashioned.
Yes, I mean, it's not a medical diagnosis. I mean, we all kind of know what that means, but I suppose when doctors think about a nervous breakdown, we'd usually use the term an adjustment disorder. That's usually the term that kind of doctors and psychologists use.
It's a very wide spectrum of concerns and problems. That's why we use nervous breakdown, because it's a convenient catch-all, if you like, but it does cover, you know, a huge number of issues from the very mild to the very severe.
Well, we have a very severe one to start with on the phone now, and it's Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi. So, what's the problem?
I feel at the moment that I'm heading for a nervous breakdown. I've had a few problems in my life that I'm unable to cope with emotionally, stressful, and I feel as if I feel that low. I can't face people when I go out. People feel like they're staring back at me. I've been back to see my GP and told him how I feel, to give me some medication to help me, you know, settle at night. I can't sleep at night. I've got too much worries on at the moment, and I just feel that everything's getting on top of me.
You said when you phoned in, I don't want to be here anymore.
No, I don't want to be here. I don't feel as if I can cope with life at the moment, of what's happening to me at the moment emotionally, and I feel as if I'm in this dark room and I can't get out of it.
And you have a daughter? I
do. I have a daughter, yeah, and I'm having to, you know, try and be, you know, strong for her, but I'm emotional, and the way I feel at the moment, I can't. It's getting me as if I can't face people. I can't talk to people at the moment.
Well, you're talking to us.
Emotionally.
What a massive step! You're talking to us, which is, and we have, you know, this is the start, hopefully, of some help for you, Max.
Sarah, I'm just so sorry that this is happening to you and that you're feeling like this, and I can hear from your voice how upset you are. And I suppose the first thing to say is that people do feel better, that this, even though I know at the moment it feels like this is going to go on forever and it's overwhelming and it's horrendous, I promise you people get better from feeling like this. And, you know, well done for phoning up, because I know that took, you know, how courageous to phone up. And it's, as Philip was saying, it's the first step. You mentioned that you have been prescribed some medication, but what else, what other support do you have?
My doctors gave me a number for counselling, because he feels that I need to, you know, speak to somebody about the problems I'm dealing with at the moment, emotional stress that I'm going through at the moment, you know, to try and help me to talk to somebody about the problems that might be able to help me come to terms with things that's happened to me.
And have you managed to phone that number?
I haven't got around to doing it because I'm a bit. I don't go out my house. I feel I'm afraid to go out my house.
Sarah, you say you've got
courage to go out my house.
You say you've got a daughter. Does she go to school? Do you take your daughter to school? I'm just wondering about the impact on your.
No, she goes to school. She takes the bus and takes herself to school.
So you're really not going out of the house, because I would urge you to take up the counselling. And what's happened is your doctor's prescribed you sleeping pills, and of course sleeplessness, insomnia is one of the signs of having a breakdown, for want of a better word, but it's only masking or helping with the symptoms. It's not getting to the core of the matter, and that's where, in association with better sleep, going to see a counsellor, you know, together they will help you. And as Philip said, you know, you've taken the first step of ringing us, so please, well, you've gone to your GP as well. Again, it's a brave move. To do those two things together will help you, and it won't be that long. I mean, generally, recovering from these things, 4 to 6 weeks, maximum 8 weeks. Sometimes people think they go on forever, but when you get the right help, that actually you're much quicker in recovery than many people think.
The thing is also that you phoned and I know it meant you didn't have to go out of the house, but you phoned us so you want help. So you know that at the end of the phone, that help is there. I mean, I don't know whether our encouragement, our you know,
and
combined
counsellors may come to
encouragement...
Sarah's house.
Yeah.
You know, it's possible to have someone come to you if you're really feeling that sense that you can't go out. That's also a possible.
Or is there anybody that you can take with you to make that first step?
Have you got someone you can go with?
I've got friends, but sometimes I don't like putting on people if you know, asking for help, where I can't, you know, I've got friends I can phone and talk to about how I feel, but in having that encouragement to go out there and actually go and see somebody and get the help that I need.
Maybe you'll only need that friend once. Maybe you'll say, if you say to that friend, the friend that you can trust and who will take you there and hold your hand, once you get there, maybe you'll find out that it's not as bad or not as worrying as you thought it was going to be in the first place, and the second time, you may not even need to take the friend with you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, it would help, I suppose, you know, just taking that first step and going to the place that I need to go to see these people, to see what help they can offer me.
Well, you've obviously got great friends. You have your daughter, and you've got everything really going for you. It's just a case of sorting out that.
It absolutely is. You've done more than the first step. You've done sort of almost the second, the third steps now. You're actually going to take the final step to take recovery. So please do it, and I know a good friend will always come with you. And as we say, it might not be more than once, but they certainly will support you through it.
We'll, if you stay where you are now, don't hang up, and our phone-in ladies will just have a word with you and make sure that that you will take that step. But also, we'd love to hear from you once you've done it, if that's all right, Sarah. Will you do it?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Sarah, stay on the line afterwards, and I'll call you back, and we'll have a chat to try and you know, encourage you a bit.
All right, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next we go to Joanne. Joanne, you had a breakdown 20 years ago, but you've come through it.
I have, yes. Just a sec. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That's all right. Don't worry.
I had a complete breakdown 20 years ago, and it was well, it's just like the bottom fell out of my world. It was due to circumstances, so it wasn't actually a chemically imbalanced thing, you know. But over the years, you know, it's been really hard, and I fought really hard to get where I am now. Okay, it's only in the past 3 years that my medication has finally got right, and I'm a totally different person. I was when I first had the breakdown, I made the move to go and see my GP, but I was in such a mess that my GP kept me at the surgery and drove me to the hospital herself. And I was there. I was in hospital then for 5 months, and went into a women's hostel then when I came out of there. What's
fabulous, I think. I mean, thank you very much indeed for calling, because you do prove to people like Sarah, who was on before, that if you get it right, if you get the help right, or you get the balance right, the medication right, that there is a way out.
Yeah. There is a way out, and not necessarily a way back in again. You don't need to go back there. This is, you know, you're cured, for want of a better word.
That's right. I mean, if I can just correct it, well, as you say, for the want of a better word, I don't think I'll ever be cured. It probably will be an ongoing thing, but it's God. I can't believe in my own head how different I am now to when I was in that situation.
And I think you'd also be aware of the trigger factors now. Even after 20 years, those are the things that we learn to manage. We learn to understand what could overwhelm us with anxiety, and so that's really important, I'm sure, for you to sort of to help overcome it on a long-term basis.
That's right, yeah. I don't know whether anybody recalls, there was a programme on a number of years ago called Bonkers, Lisa Tarbuck in it. and she had this imaginary idol who lived in her house, and every time she was in love with him, and but he wanted to get away from her, and every time he opened the door, it was like he was being sucked into a void.
Yes.
And that's how my life was. I just felt.
I think. I think that what we are hearing here, I mean, is it a coping mechanism? Because the people that we didn't get round to talking to, it is something that happened in their lives, and there are some people who that same thing can happen to, and you plough through, and there are those that get damaged.
And there's also coping mechanisms at certain times in our lives. We are sometimes better addressed, better able to cope with certain things than we are at other times. And also it's cumulative. When a lot of things happen that individually we could deal with, when they happen together or in a short space of time, this is when people feel so overwhelmed. They don't see it as single things, they see it as one whole thing, and that's generally what leads people to have what we call.
And it's very important, isn't it, to deal with the cause of it, not just medicate it.
Exactly. I mean, I'd be very, even though I'm a doctor and we tend to dish out pills, I'm a very strong advocate of it not just being medication. And actually, as you were saying, it's often that just masks some of the symptoms. Sometimes it's important to deal with the symptoms because they might be getting in the way of actually getting the treatment. But I think it's important for everybody to get in their minds that actually a lot of the medication won't deal with the actual problems, it will just kind of mask them. And that really that the mainstay of treatment should, in my opinion, be psychotherapy.
And you have to talk to, you've got to talk to somebody. Thank you both very much indeed.
Don't forget, if you want any more information or advice on anything we've discussed with Max and Joe, then please look at our website.
And we're back after the break.